Hi guys, how you doing? Senior Gaming here, and I'm bringing you Slayer Legend with setups for all dungeons. So if you're Slayer Legend player or perhaps idle gamer, then make sure you subscribe to the channel as I post as often as possible and bring you best tips and advice. And if you enjoy what you see, then hit that like button as well. Right guys, so I decided to put all 5 dungeon setups into one video. This is normally something you'll be doing on daily basis. Once you start, you want to just get it out of the way and obviously come back to your grind. So therefore, there will be actually 2 different main setup skills. One is for a singular target and one is for AoE damage, and there will be quite a lot of similarities. Therefore, I'm thinking we can squeeze it into one video itself. So I'm gonna head straight to the point here, tapping on to adventure, and obviously second tab is a dungeon. I'm gonna start all the way from the top. We're gonna hit into training cave and then finally a closed mine. So I'm gonna start with a shelter. So when it comes to settings in a shelter itself, obviously we face in here a singular target, is an ancient dragon. Our enemy is a time. So basically we want to deal here as much damage as possible, and more damage we deal, the more resource we get in, which is then needed to a separate system called latent power. That basically translates into additional passive bonuses across different aspects of a strengthening your character, and perhaps this might need to be addressed in a separate video. But as it stands, when it comes to abilities itself, you go in here with as much attack as possible, therefore obviously want to maximize it. When it comes to spirits, if it's possible, obviously I'm using Mam just to get this additional skill damage, and the second one currently is Luga. It won't be as beneficial, giving me obviously extra rate for experience, but this is currently my strongest spirit to gives me as much attack as possible. So basically you go here with your best spirits. As you see, I'm still sort of lacking a very third one, therefore this is a setup for intermediate level. And then when it comes to skills itself, you will see quite a lot of similarities. Passives will be pretty much used across spectrum, so I'm just gonna very quickly go through them. So a top bar, this is where I got 5 different passives, and all of them actually apart one increasing your attack. So as you see, Fire Sword will increase attack for a 10 seconds, Burning Sword increase attack every 5 seconds, Earth's will increase attack every 7 attacks, and Iron will actually give you a passive bonus to attack. This will be then top up with a Curved Blade, will give you attack speed every 4 seconds. And then in every setup I prepped for you, actually the bottom row is where we got active skills. So in here, despite we are looking into a singular target, I have actually selected Red Lighting. This is just to a nature of how big the target is. Your Red Lighting actually, despite being AoE skills, will be pretty powerful and will give you good damage output. You'll top it up with a Supersonic. Again, I like this skill pretty much also when it comes to a facing bosses. These ones who's got knockback, when they get you hit back and try to stun, obviously you're getting back to the target as soon as possible and dealing still pretty decent damage. I topped it up with a Giga Strike, very powerful singular target, as well as Power Impact, which allows you as well to stun the target, so again prevents of casting these skills. Bear in mind, obviously there are other great skills I have not unlocked yet, so as it stands, this is gonna be my best setup. If you lack some of these skills, I would definitely recommend going with Meditation or perhaps Rage to increase your attack. Okay, so that will be a very first setup. Then we're moving into a Dimensional Rift. And this is obviously a place where you're gonna get your upgrade cubes needed then to upgrade your equipment. I definitely encourage you will use that whilst you got activated scrolls, which will boost 300% extra drop rate. And in here again we go in with a full boss build, so full attack, same when it comes to spirits, and the only difference when it comes to this very setup is actually I'm not going with Red Lighting, I'm going with Meditation, obviously to shorten the skill cooldown, and this is where that target is much smaller than a dragon itself, but I believe you could be going one or another. Meditation so far worked better for myself. Okay. So that's pretty much when it comes to Rift itself. We're moving into Forest, and here a setup is slightly changed. So we're talking here now about AoE skills. Again, when it comes to ability, full attack, same spirits. Obviously, this is the two most powerful I do have, so you'll see them across the spectrum. And then when it comes to skills, exactly same passives, obviously 4 attack ones, 1 attack speed. And then when it comes to active skills, I'm actually going Fulgurus. Obviously, this is a quickly charge skill alongside Supersonic, which allows you to get to these targets as soon as possible and also deal pretty decent damage. And then I'm going with a Red Lighting as well as Thunderbolt. These are 2 AoE skills, which then allows me to obviously hit multiple targets. If you do not have these skills, go for anything, could be Ice Time, any skills that basically allows you to hit multiple targets. You normally find them in a second or a third row. Okay, so from here we then moving into a training cave, and when it comes to training cave, this is absolutely beast when it comes to getting experience. I have actually released few videos about farming strategies and where to experience the most, so if you haven't checked it out, I definitely encourage you. Again, when it comes to that very cave, you want to do it with the scrolls to get obviously as much experience as possible. When it comes to abilities, we actually swap in full attack into experience, again because this is the best area in a game where you can squeeze experience. We just want to maximize it. Sacrifice damage output against experience. Obviously you might do it in a little bit lower stages, but it's definitely worth it. When it comes to spirit, this is obviously where Luga now plays a vital part. You've got that chance of getting this additional double experience. And then when it comes to a skill set, again very similar to what we have had previously on a singular target boss setup, as basically despite we are lacking damage here and we going on full experience, you actually face multiple boss-like enemies. Therefore you want to be slightly better against singular targets despite you got few of them down the line. But this is a setup, again we go in with a Giga Strike, Power Impact and a Meditation and a Supersonic, and this way you'll be able to squeeze a good damage output against these very enemies. And then finally, lastly, we go in with a Closed Mind. Again, this is a great for experience as well as gold actually. I definitely recommend that you want to go and try that with potential 1 feather attempt and see if you are able to clear the floor. If not, then obviously go back to a previous one and only then use that X3 strategy. When it comes to areas, area 5 it's mainly to progress into next floor, so if you actually stuck on a certain floor, I encourage you to go and hit area 4. This is the most beneficial area when it comes to experience and gold itself. And as it stands here with abilities, I'm going again full experience. This is only until I reach level 1000, because Closed Mind give you a both experience and gold. The moment I hit 1000, I've got a last skill slot unlocked. I will be changing that into a gold setup. Again, very same when it comes to spirits and the skills. Same passive skills itself, and Fulgurus along Supersonic with 2 AoE skills itself. Alright then guys, so that will be it. Obviously we need to still take into consideration the skill setup I've got available now. I still got few skills that I'll be able to unlock, so I definitely look forward to update you with this high-end product, having all these skills unlocked at some point, as perhaps this might be a different case at the time. Thank you very much guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.